What's good, everybody? It's Joe, and I come back and show another video. For this video, I want to title this one, Events Will Unfold for You Perfectly. Now, that sort of seems cliche. That might seem like, you know, nonsense to say that events will unfold for you perfectly, right? I know there's people out there who are, likely just non believers that think, you know, things just happen by chance and all these things. But I just want to share a story with you guys about my trip that showcases, because I've been trying to preach that everything in the universe is connected, that we're all connected. Everything happens for a reason, that things don't happen by accident, because at the end of the day, everything here on this earth is literally just energy. It's all it is. Everything's energy. And so everything is interconnected with one another. So the reason why I say events will unfold for you perfectly is because I have an example from our trip. So I'm just going to paint the picture for you guys here. So the first night when we touched down, so our trip was a 10-day trip. First 4 days in Mexico City, right? Then the next 2 days is Puerto Vallarta. So Mexico City is more so, kind of like if you've been to New York, similar to that as far as like weather, right? Like it was like kind of chill. Like you had to go around with like a sweater, and then at night it would be kind of cold. And then Puerto Vallarta is like the beach town. So essentially in the mornings it'll be sunny, 90 degrees, and then by nighttime it'll be like mid 70s. So the entire time is pretty much summer weather, right? You can walk around in shorts and a t-shirt all day, all night, and you're perfectly fine. So for our second destination, Puerto Vallarta, the beach town, we already had reservations at this one like restaurant chain that looked good, right? When we touched down the first night into Mexico City, our first destination, the first night of the trip, we ended up going to a speakeasy bar, right? In the speakeasy bar, it was a group of three, us three, right? They sat us down in like a circular table, but we took up half the table. And so for the speakeasy, of course, they're trying to fill up all the seats. So there was a couple who got seated on the other side of our booth. So just imagine 3 people on one side of the circle, my group, and a couple, a man and a woman, right, on the other side. While we were at the speakeasy, me and my first friend, we seen this other group of people who we knew were American because we overheard them speaking all these things. We overheard them, so we essentially like went to start a conversation with them. So we walked away from the booth and we're having a conversation with this other group, right? My second friend, my other friend, he stayed in the booth and he was speaking with the couple that got seated with us, right? Speaking with the man and the woman. So my second friend that got left behind in the booth, he's speaking to the woman. While he's, getting to know her, it turns out that that woman was a well-known chef that lived in the town of Puerto Vallarta, right? So of course, we're in Mexico City. Puerto Vallarta is our next destination. So he finds out she's from Puerto Vallarta and she was vacationing in Mexico City. He goes on to tell her that we're having, that we made reservations at this one restaurant. And so he wanted to know what she recommended. So once he told her that, she responded to him and let him know that that restaurant really wasn't that good. That if you were actually trying to eat at a really good, like 5-star restaurant, to eat at this other place. So she gave us a recommendation, and you guys know, like a recommendation, like she's a well-known chef in this area, and she's recommending a place that she felt was really good. Of course, like we're gonna take on her recommendation, right? So essentially, fast forward, we ended up, when we went to Puerto Vallarta, we ended up going to that restaurant, and it ended up being one of the best dining experiences we've ever had. Like it was a 5-star restaurant that received a Michelin star, and all of the food was just absolutely phenomenal. They had live music. There was a man playing the piano and another man playing the violin the entire time. So live music while we were eating, and we went crazy at the restaurant. Like we had a bottle of wine, we had appetizers, we had entrees that we were splitting, we had 2 different desserts. So we had a full blown meal, and it ended up being a fraction, the cost, the total cost ended up being a fraction of what it would have costed had we had a meal like that in New York City, right, where I'm living at. So this is what I mean when I say events will unfold for you perfectly, because it felt like while we were on the trip, that like integral moments or components of the trip ended up unfolding for us organically while we were on the trip. Now, for context, for the woman who gave the recommendation, who was a chef, she's a chef at a top restaurant in Puerto Vallarta, and she told us that restaurant owners flew from Los Angeles to Mexico and they ate at her restaurant that she worked at, and they fell in love with her food so much that they essentially offered her a position to be a head chef at their restaurants in Los Angeles. So she accepted the position. So she's eventually going to be moving to Los Angeles to be the head chef at their locations, right? So this is what I mean. Like, those restaurant owners literally poached her from her restaurant in Puerto Vallarta to go be the head chef at their restaurant in Los Angeles. So she is a legitimate chef. She knows food. She knows what she's talking about. And that was just one of those moments where events unfolded for us perfectly. Like, let me break this down for you guys, because just in case you guys, if it didn't like fully map out in your mind, you guys need to think about the variables at play, right? She came from Puerto Vallarta. She came from the town, the vacation town that we are going to go to, right? She came from there, and both parties ended up going on vacation to Mexico City and also magically lining up in the same speakeasy, right? In the same bar, if you will. And it's a speakeasy, so it's not supposed to be like well known. It's supposed to be like hidden, right? Like the speakeasy, the entrance is literally just a super small like restaurant that sells tacos, right? It just looks like a regular spot, but then they take you to the back and it looks like a luxury bar that's like hidden from view. There's no signs, no nothing. So both parties ended up arriving at the same location, arriving at the same hidden bar, and then she just so happens to be a top chef in the area that we're about to go to next for our vacation, and gives us a recommendation of one of her favorite spots, and then we end up going, and it ended up blowing away all of our expectations. Like, you can't say that's coincidence, right? You can't say that. Some people just label it as just coincidence. I feel like that is an extremely unlikely scenario, almost impossible for something like that to play out. However, that event was meant to happen because it us eating at that restaurant was meant to be part of our trip. Because she could have went to Speakeasy, she didn't have to go that day. She could have went the next day. She could have went earlier in the night or later in the night, right? Because we had plans after the Speakeasy, so we were only there for about an hour, right? So it was very possible, and it was raining cats and dogs by the time we got there, so it was very possible that it wouldn't have lined up. But this is what I mean, where events will unfold for you perfectly. I don't know the experience that we would have had at the other restaurant, but I can assure you it would have been nowhere near this restaurant that we ate at from the recommendation that we got. This is why it's important to have faith. This is why it's important to understand that everything's connected, that even if you don't have the answer to something, even if you don't know how something will happen for you, sometimes the universe will put in signs. Sometimes the universe will put people, events, and circumstances in your life to give you what is it that you're looking for. And she was purposely put there so that she can direct us to the place that we should be eating at, to the place that we were meant to eat at, because that restaurant was one of the best dining experience all three of us have ever had in our lives. And 10 out of 10, right? We will definitely go back. If we have the opportunity to go back, we'll definitely go back and eat there again. So this is what I mean when everything somehow, some way works itself out. And the trip, it just felt like the entire trip that like events were unfolding for us so organically that we could have something planned, but then something even better would miraculously unfold and just make happen, and then we end up doing it, and it ends up being like 20 times better than we could have ever imagined. And so this is why, like, you need to, if there's something for you to take away from this, aside from everything I've already shared of events unfolding for you perfectly, this is why you need to live your life always excited and always smiling, day to day, second to second throughout the day, because every day is a gift, every day is a present. It's always something new for you to experience. It's always something that you can unwrap. It's, life is full of surprises, and it's up to you to decide if you want those surprises to be good or if you want those surprises to be bad, right? You have the power to decide that. You have the power to create that. When we were on vacation, of course, we were super happy, super excited, just our eyes wide open, because we want to embrace everything that we're experiencing in our vacation. And our good energy is what attracted that woman in that event into our lives and literally made the trip so much better after having that legendary, literally that legendary dining experience. So I'm telling you guys, like, everything is connected, everything is one. So just live your life happy, smiling, and be eager. Live your life eager and optimistic. That, you know, set the intention that something good is gonna happen to you today, and I promise you, like, something good will. Something will show itself to you, and then you'll realize that it was a good day. Every single day can be memorable, right? It's not about it's not about counting the days. It's about making the days count. So make each and every individual day count, because great things are happening to you. Miracles are happening to you. You're beyond blessed. Great things are always happening to you. It's just a matter of, are you aware? Do you have your eyes open and your eyes peeled to see it? So just want to share that brief example of, for some people they might think that's like insignificant, but to me that was something that I spotted, because the moment my friend told me that she was a chef in Puerto Vallarta, that's when the light bulb in my mind went off, and I'm like, okay, well then she should know the food spot. She should know what's good and like what she can recommend. And I'm sure, considering her stature as a cook and as a head chef, right, and what she's been able to accomplish in the culinary industry, she's gonna have one of the best recommendations, and ended up being everything that we could have ever imagined, beyond our imagination, right? So just be open to the possibilities, be open to the universe, just allow things to flow, and great things will happen to you, and you just won't ever look back. So if you enjoyed this video, do leave a like, comment down below any thoughts you might have, share this video with anyone you think would appreciate it, and make sure you turn on post notifications, because I will be posting more videos soon. So once again, this is Joel, and I'm out. See you guys for the next video.